Right, hello there, how are we doing? Straight into it on today's video. If you've not yet subscribed to 67 Hail Hail, please do that now. I'm fed up having to ask. In all honesty, I should really have asked on Monday's video, which has had over 25,000 views. If I'd been clever then, I would have put a shout out at the start. I'd have probably got about 1,000 subscribers simply from that video. I didn't do that though, so I've come begging again to you today. If you've not yet subscribed, please do it. That's all I'm saying. Right, today's video, I was looking at the calendar the other day and yes, it had twigged in my mind that we were in January, we were in a new year. Thank God we've left 2020 behind, although the start of 2021 hasn't been much better so far. But the one thing it didn't twig until earlier today, and I was thinking of ideas for videos, is the fact that we're now in a transfer window and Celtic tend to sign players during them. Not always the ones we want, not always the positions we need, but we do tend to sign players from time to time. So I thought in today's video we could have a look at the key position. It's centre-back, no prizes for guessing that. We badly need a centre-back, maybe even two. Christopher Jullien had that horror injury after colliding with the post in the victory over Dundee United. He's practically out for the season. We may see him for the last few games of this campaign, but other than that, he's finished. Near Bitton is about as unreliable as they come. We found that out on Saturday to our cost. Shane Duffy is Shane Duffy, and that means that we need to sign at least one centre-back. To his credit, Neil Lennon realises this too. When he was asked about it after the game against Rangers on Saturday, he said it's an area where we will probably look to bring someone in. So my question to you, and bearing in mind I will be providing some possible answers in this video, is who should that man be? Right, just want to clarify first off, because I can already, imagine people replying in the comments, giving me abuse for recommending players that are not good enough for Celtic. I am not saying that any of these 7 players should be signed by Celtic, that they're good enough for Celtic. This video is simply putting out options that are there and the kind of player that Celtic will go for this summer. So, yeah, please just remember that before you bash away your keyboards. Right, here we go, 7 in a row. Right, this one falls into the Stephen O'Donnell category for me, and that's not just because they both play for Motherwell. I'm talking about last year when we were linked with Stephen O'Donnell, Celtic fan like Declan Gallacher, Scotland international like Declan Gallacher, similar age to Declan Gallacher. It's not the kind of signing Celtic should be making to take us to the next level. He's a 29-year-old who's only really become known over the last couple of years at club level, only becoming international in the last few months really. Yes, he's been pretty good for Scotland. Yes, he maybe even be a starter for Scotland at the Euros in the summer, but is he good enough to play for Celtic? Not for me. He's 29 years old. He wasn't good enough for us a few years ago. He's not good enough for us now. He's not the kind of signing we should be making with the Champions League in mind and, winning the league and all that kind of stuff. He's an easy option to take for the club. Little scouting would be needed. He's known to us. We should not be signing him, but he has an easy option. So, here we go. Welcome to Celtic, Declan Gallacher. Right, if we have to sign a player from Scotland, and I know how simplistic our scouting can be at times in terms of going for the one right in front of us, then Porteous is a better option for me. He's 8 years younger than Gallacher. He's only 21. He has real potential to play at a top level. You could argue that he's already a better player than Gallacher. He certainly had a decent enough time of it for Hibs recently, although their form has flagged a little bit. He himself has been in Scotland squads. He's a player who certainly has lots of potential for the future. He's not a signing I think we should make for the here and now, but if he's a signing we bring in to supplement a more ready-made centre-back, and Porteous is one who could grow into a Celtic player, then this is one I think we should do. So, in summary, sign Ryan Porteous this summer, couple of million max, and he'll be one for the future, but not for now. Right, on to non-Scottish based options now. Ben Davies, not the one who's played for Spurs and the Welsh one. We're talking the English one here, the one who's spent the last 4 seasons or so at Preston North End. He's been a mainstay for them as they've kind of gone up the levels under Alex Neil. However, his time at Deepdale, I believe that's what their stadium is called, is coming to an end. He's out of contract in the summer. It doesn't look like he's going to sign a new contract. I think he would have done that by now. So, you know, the wagons are circling. Is that the saying? I'm going to go with that anyway and edit this out if that's not the saying. But the wagons are circling, and Celtic are one of those wagons, as are soon-to-be Championship Sheffield United, as are recently Championship Bournemouth, as are Udinese, who we met a few years ago, well, I say a few years ago, a decade ago in the Europa League, as are Genk. Now, I've got a wee bone to pick with Genk because they've been popping up a lot in Celtic transfer reports lately. They're the team who are about to sign Mark McKenzie for around about 5 million. McKenzie, for that reason, doesn't feature on this video, by the way. But Genk want him. They apparently also want Ben Davies. I mean, what's going on here? Is Nick Hammond living a double life in Belgium? Are Genk just looking at Celtic reports in the Daily Record and the Scottish Sun? Are Genk watching these videos on this channel? Why are you going for our players? Just go for your own players. Get your own list, Genk, is what I'm saying. And if you sign McKenzie, please don't go after Ben Davies again. Give us something, lads. But anyway, I think Ben Davies would be a good option. He's seen to be quite highly rated. He's 25 years old. He's 6'1". He is, as I say, quite highly rated at Preston. And it will all come down, you know, reading between the lines, to whether Celtic want to pay a fee for him this January. We can get him for nothing in the summer. We know what Peter Lawwell's like when it comes to that kind of deal. He likes to hold out. Why pay now if you're going to get him for free in the summer? But with the likes of the aforementioned Genk, idiots, Udinese, Bournemouth and Sheffield United all circling, then we may have to move this summer. One thing that I should point out is that only ourselves, Udinese and Genk, basically the non-English teams, can sign a pre-contract this month. English sides can't. Right, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. It really wouldn't be a transfer window without rumours about Filip Benkovic coming to Celtic. He has just returned to Leicester City after a really unsuccessful loan spell at Cardiff City. He played literally once this season for Cardiff, so it hasn't worked out there at all. Yes, he was a great player for us. I really, really liked Benkovic. I thought he was a class act the way he played. But the truth is, and the facts are, that he can't stay fit, and that is why he should not be an option for Celtic this winter or any summer. So there you go, Filip Benkovic. Welcome to Celtic. What's that? You wanted an absolute Serbian beast to come in and marshal the Celtic defence? Well, I've got the perfect guy for you. His name is Slavja Pavlovic. Most people watching this video may not be familiar with who he is, but our manager is. In fact, Neil Lennon himself went to scout Pavlovic last summer of 2019, that is. He went to scout him while he was playing for Partizan Belgrade in a Europa League qualifier in Wales. Needless to say, the transfer didn't come off for Celtic. The team who Pavlovic eventually signed for was AS Monaco, the moneybags of the French Ligue 1. However, it hasn't worked out for Pavlovic for Monaco. He has literally played 1 minute of league football so far this season. That makes Benkovic seem like a never-present wherever he's played. So he's clearly not in Monaco's plans. He was clearly in our plans not so long ago. Could we do a loan deal for Pavlovic, who I still think is only 19, maybe with an option to buy? The club know him. He would probably jump at the opportunity to get some regular football for a big club. Celtic are a big club. We sometimes forget that, I think. So is this a deal that could be done? I certainly think it should be on our list of possible ones. Right, a few of you watching should remember this player. He was last seen being sent off against us for Motherwell at Hampden. Really harsh, that, by the way, if you think back to one of those amazing trophy victories. I think it was Brendan Rodgers' second season in the Betfred Cup final against Motherwell. He was sent off. Moussa Dembele scored the penalty. The rest is history, and the rest has been history for Cedric Kipre. He moved shortly after that from Motherwell down to Wigan. That was for a pretty decent sum, close to 7 figures, I think. A big one for Motherwell. Not quite David Turnbull standards, but still a big one. He did quite well for Wigan and he signed for West Brom about 6 months ago, I think. Again, for around about £1 million. That would have been more had Wigan not been in real financial difficulties and been having a fire sale at the club. Kipre has barely featured for West Brom this season. Certainly doesn't look like featuring under Sam Allardyce now. But he is only 24. He came through the PSG Youth Academy not so long ago. He knows the Scottish game. Now, again, to clarify what I said near the start of this video, I am not saying that we should go and sign Kipre. All I'm saying is that he is the kind of option that Celtic will go for because they'll be familiar with him. They'll look at players who aren't getting game time in England and young players, and he is only 24, as I say. And those are the kind of things that stack up when Celtic are looking at a player. So don't be surprised to see us linked with Kipre. Well, I suppose you've already seen it because I'm doing it right now and I've got history. I had the Romanian press going mad about the Dan Petrescu to Celtic rumours after I did one of these videos. So, expect to see Kipre to Celtic mentioned in the coming weeks. And if you do, remember where it all started. Finally, Omar Cauley, the player who I did a video a way back, I think in September. He's the player, if you remember, who had COVID a way back when COVID was first a thing near the start of 2020, that horrible year. Cauley is out of contract at Sampdoria in Serie A in the summer of 2022. So think, the same time as Christopher Jullien and Odsonne Edouard, that kind of time frame. So Sampdoria could be forced to cash in on him, so to speak, this summer. We have been linked with him in the past, so has a few other teams. Genk actually aren't one of the teams interested in Cauley, funnily enough, but he did used to play for them, so there comes that Belgian team again in this video. But he's the kind of player I'd love to see us sign. I think he's got a similar stature to Christopher Jullien in terms of the fact he's played in a big European league. He was a regular for a team like Sampdoria. He still is. And I think if we could sign him to go next to Jullien, it would be a great signing. This is where I tear my hair out with regards to these videos because I'm sitting here looking at the kind of players Celtic should sign. And I honestly think we should move for Cauley. We should bring him in alongside Christopher Jullien. We should sell Christopher Jullien. Say we sell Jullien for 10 and sign Cauley for 7 or 8 and then spend the 2 million left over on Ben Davies or Ryan Porteous or Slavja Pavlovic to come in alongside the signings we're already making. I think that's exactly what we should do. That's how we should deal with losing Jullien, losing Duffy. Just do it, Celtic. It just makes so much sense. I sit and do these videos and I think, God, that's amazing. But in reality, what's going to happen is we're going to rush into the signing of Declan Gallacher this January to get a stopgap in there. We're going to lose Christopher Jullien in the summer, and then we're going to end up with Bitton at centre-back in a Champions League qualifier against Benfica or someone like that. That's what's going to happen. So I guess these videos are pointless.